Hey Kawaii Creatives, how are you? It is 28 days of Black J fashion, and today we are diving into my journey starting with Lolita, perfectionism, and how I used fashion to get over that shit. So let's go. Let's start with looking at what perfectionism is. Perfectionism is internalized oppression. It is self-abuse at the highest order. It is a dream killer, and it's also just fear disguised as trying to do your best, which is exactly why I said I don't give a fuck when I decided to start wearing Lolita while tattooing. Yes. So, if you don't know or if you haven't heard of the imposter type of perfectionism, we are generally perfectionists, right? No, perfectionism or perfectionist imposter type often set these lofty goals. They have high expectations of how things should be, and things should be done right and done right all the time. That includes Lolita fashion. It is one of the most strict fashions. In J fashion, it has a very specific style. It is from the Rococo period and influenced by the Victorian period. Oh man, I'm just stuttering all over the place. I'm too excited. So let me just rewind right quick. Lolita fashion is actually one of the strictest J fashions in terms of aesthetic, in terms of what goes into it, the rules to live by. Okay, so Lolita fashion is a subculture. It's Victorian clothing and styles that are influenced by Rococo period, and it's the distinctive property of Lolita fashion. The aesthetic is cuteness. So with that, there are three main categories of Lolita fashion. There's gothic, there is classic, and there's sweet. I'm sweet, just so you guys know, even though I can dive into classic, but I don't think I do gothic very well. That's neither here nor there. Also, gothic just isn't my jam. That's neither here nor there. But those are the three main subcategories of Lolita. Also, Lolita, just so you guys know, is not related to the book by Nabokov. So we need to go ahead and separate Lolita street fashion from Lolita the book. Those are two separate things. They happen to share the same name, but they have two different sentiments. So I'm going to start there before I even tell you about my journey. I love Lolita because it would be my first entryway into Japanese street fashion. It is this style that actually taught me about the importance of learning the rules so that you can break them. It is the style that is more of like a gatekeeper style for me, where literally it's like, no, if you're going to do this, you're going to do your best to do it, quote unquote, right? When I came into Lolita, you wanted to try and mimic a lot of times, a lot of the street snaps that you saw of Lolitas in Japan. Western world, Lolita wasn't really popping like that. So we took our influences and cues from being, from gals or Lolitas, not gals. They are girls, most of the time. There are boy Lolitas. I'm off subject. I digress. So with that, with taking those cues from there, then our striving for perfection was striving to look like those particular street snaps, making sure you had the accessories in the right way, having the perfect Lolita coord or coordinate in terms of, how things laid. There's even notes about how your blouse and your socks should match, things that help you move so that way you become like a walking piece of fucking art. I love it, don't get it twisted, but I couldn't strive for that perfectionism if I decided to wear Lolita daily and if I decided to wear it to work. There were some things that were going to have to change, and while I knew the rules, when I decided to actually show up and come out, it was when I decided to break the rules. And I decided to break the rules so that way I could find my own journey in Lolita. if perfectionism is a dream killer, and the dream that I have is to actually be able to wear Japanese street fashion on a daily basis for any particular reason, any particular style, guess what? I probably should not strive for perfection, because then I'm going to be looking for that from every chord. It's going to rob me of my happiness of just draping myself in these awesome ass clothes, frills and all, and going out and being my best self. It was more important for me to go out, make sure my body was not sexualized, and actually be my best self as a tattoo artist while I was serving my customers. That's what Lolita was for me. So I took Lolita as a way to just go out and be my best self. Now, while I did know the rules, let me tell you how I broke the rules. I broke the rules, one, by not wearing traditional shoes. That would be the biggest thing. I often was found wearing sneakers or, some type of, off-beaten path shoes so that I was comfortable. Shoes are always my thing. So at the end of the day, while upwards, I might be striving to look like a particular street snap, I always wanted to add in my personality and my fix for my shoes. I customize sneakers, so why would I not wear sneakers? Like, sneakers are my jam. I'm a complete sneakerhead. I customize them. I'm actually in magazines with Def Jam, Adidas, Female Sneaker Fiends for customizing sneakers. So it was very natural for me to add sneakers to Lolita. I got dragged, and when I got dragged, let me tell you, it was the best times of my life, because that would mean that people are taking notice. I am doing something right. I am finding my own voice. And that is what empowered me to go forward and do more. Once I realized, like, friends told me about me getting dragged online and all these good things, and they told me to protect me so that I wouldn't just find out about it. They didn't tell me because they were trying to start drama or anything like that. They just didn't want me to find out, happenstance or, oh, that's that girl right there, anything like that. Or from people talking openly in the Facebook communities or live journal. They just didn't want me to find out, and they knew about it and had not said anything about it. I appreciate them for that. What they ended up finding out was, I don't give a fuck. And I've adopted that personality from the time that I started stepping out in Lolita. Here's why I was able to adopt that personality. I realized that once I stepped into actually wearing Lolita in my way for my reasons, which weren't just for street snaps, I was then starting to communicate with people. I was communicating with people who I didn't want to sexualize me, but I wanted them to look at my portfolio. So I have on all these layers and frills and bloomers and shit, which you don't even know what to do with that. Look at the portfolio. Look at the art. Let that speak. That's what you came here for. 2, I started finding friends who were into the same stuff. When I tell you, like, my stock price went up for Japanese street fashion friends, including my long time, my very first Japanese street fashion friend, Nico, who is family. Her mom is my godmom and financial planner. Like, we check in on each other. Like, it's gone far beyond fashion simply because of that. And the third thing would be, it gave me a chance and empowered me to create a space for other people who are into Japanese street fashion so we could commune together. That would be DC Kawaii style. First, there was DC Metro Lolitas, but all-encompassing DC Kawaii style. That's neither here nor there. You can search it online, DC Kawaii style. It empowered me to do so much the minute that I took the rules off. That doesn't mean I don't understand the rules. It means that I was in what's called a learning space. So I went out from fear. Like, I did fear going out in Lolita, but I feared it in the way that I was presenting it because I was just copying something that I saw online. I've done Lolita that would be considered quote unquote great or perfect or anything like that. I've done those, except the world probably never see that. I didn't come out the house. I didn't feel like myself. I felt like I was just copying something that I saw online. And that's whack. It wasn't authentic to me. I didn't start living for J fashion until I started finding my own voice in it. So yes, understand the rules, especially something like Lolita. If you're into J fashion or you're just trying to figure out how to break out of your perfectionist imposter type, I encourage you to just do it. Whatever it is, take a moment, go out before you're even ready to go out, before you perfected the thing, and just do it. Reassess it once you finish. See how you feel, and then make small tweaks and do it again. And keep doing it until you get the results that you're looking for, and you become an recovering perfectionist, if we should say. So that's my story with Lolita and J fashion. I love it. Lolita is definitely still my first love. I definitely still wear Lolita. These days it's more like my church clothes, quote unquote. So I wear Lolita for special occasions and when I really want to make that extra polished presence. I still do it in my style. Sometimes I mix Lolita with Gyaru looks. Sometimes, I am doing, a mashup, Sweet and Decora. I don't know. It depends on my mood, but I know that I know enough about Lolita from the rules and my own personal style now in terms of going through that learning phase. So eventually I could break out of that joint and I can go into my growth phase, which is where I am now pretty much. Hi, welcome to my journey. So again, that's my story and that is my experience with Lolita fashion. I still do Lolita. I love Lolita. There's nothing that I would take away from Lolita, which is why you would never see me say, I left Lolita. I didn't leave it. It's just, it's cumbersome sometimes. So a gal's got to have the energy to flex Lolita, but don't trip. I still flex it. If you're watching the video, if you're watching the visual diary, please know that that particular dress that you're seeing in the video is the first dress that I actually wore to host my first tea party, which guess what? I had it right in the tattoo shop. Yeah. So there's a little tidbit. I hope you enjoy the visuals. If you're watching the visual diary, I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope that you are on your journey to becoming a recovering perfectionist, because perfection is the thief of joy and is only procrastination and fear. That's it. So stop trying to be perfect and just get the shit done. Just do it. Progress is better than perfection. Remember that, guys. All right. I'll see you guys for the next episode. I forget which fashion we're talking about, but I'll see you for the next episode. Haha. See you next week. Janae.